Excellent. So welcome everybody. Thank you for taking the time out to be with me in person. And if you're watching this by video at some other time, thank you for taking the time to watch this. I feel like I'm a man on a mission. I've done a lot of talking with some pretty big leaders in networking circles and in online business circles, people who purport to know a lot about business, and some people who actually do know a lot about online business. And I feel that with Wealth Warriors, we're actually breaking new ground, and it's exciting. More and more of these so-called gurus and big leaders want me to teach them what we're doing. But as I start to teach them, they argue with me because they can't get their head around the fact that although everybody in the world says they put the people first and the money second, that's not. They find it really hard to do that. And by telling them to adopt what I'm doing and what we're doing, it exposes the fact that no, they can't. They're not actually putting the people first. And when I say putting the people first, that sounds very grandiose. What I'm actually doing is putting the community first, because my vision for Wealth Warriors is that we build the community. I know the community is made of people, but sometimes people don't fit in a community. But those that do will stick with it. And so it's not the people per se, it's building the community. And as we build the community, then we have the power to make money collectively. And it's the community and the making money bit are so inextricably interlinked that you can't push one before the other. You can't try and build a community without building money, and you can't try and build businesses to make money without having the community. And if you do, then you just go back to the same old patterns that we've had for the last 10 years in this industry that we all know and love, because every once in a while we wake up and all our money's gone. So we don't want that. We want to come away from that. And the only way to do it is to take the power away from the people that have the platforms, take the power away from the businesses, and give it to the community. And you'll see how we're going to do this. And if you don't get this the first time through today, don't worry, come back and watch the video, see it again, come on another Zoom call, keep looking at it until it makes sense, because when it does make sense, you go, got it, I understand now. Okay, and you'll understand why I've changed suggestions into concrete rules, and how I've been able to distill down the advantages of being with Wealth Warriors into 7 concrete benefits that you can only get here. You can't get them anywhere else. Okay, so and so, like I say, you'll have that eureka moment one day. You look at Wealth Warriors and you go, got it, I understand now. And I know you'll have that, because I've been working with this now for about 8 months or so, and it wasn't that long ago that I got it bit by bit, and then eventually I just said, okay, now I understand. So it goes against the grain of the way we normally think about these things. We've got to put the community first, because by putting the community first, we have the power to provide all of those benefits. I'm going to go through them in just a few seconds. In fact, I'll share my screen now, and let's get the presentation up on the screen. Okay, so welcome to Wealth Warriors, Financial Freedom Fighters. I've gone for a space freedom fighters theme today. Don't know why. You may have noticed I do sea battles, and I do land battles and air and just all sorts of things. So today I thought I'd go for a space battle. But so although I'm being a little flippant about that, this is really how I see Wealth Warriors. I see us as the small guys that have ulterior motives, so that have pure motives, altruistic motives. We have the best motives in the world for wanting to do something. It's not just about us making some money and don't worry about anybody else. They can all, they all knew what they were getting into, so if they lose money, that's their problem. We're not like that. We're about doing the right thing so that everyone can benefit, and eventually everybody will understand this, and we will want everybody to benefit, because it's the only shield we've got against falling prey to scammers. And scammers aren't the only problem in this universe, but they are one of the most insidious, because they deliberately set out to deceive us. All of the others don't do that, but the scammers do. So I see us as the little band of rebels living in the jungle, fighting against the dictatorship, the overpowering government, and so we've got to be careful how we move, because there's nothing anybody would like better than to shut us down and stop us from doing what we're doing. Meanwhile, all we want is to take control of our own lives and be left alone. But for some reason, governments don't like to leave people alone. So yeah, you can take that to be your own local government, or the one world government, or whatever you believe in terms of who makes the decisions that govern your lives. We're fighting against them because they're fighting against us. They're trying to stop us from doing what we want to do, which is basically take charge of our own lives and make money in our own way. We're not hurting anybody. We just want to make money in our own way and be free from the fear and the doubt and the worry and so on and so forth that having no money in a mega society gives us. So I love to start with a battle scene, because that is really how I see Wealth Warriors. We are financial freedom fighters. And it's not just us. The freedom fighters wouldn't be any good if there was just one of them. It's we're not just fighting for our own benefit, we're fighting for the benefit of everybody. So quick disclaimer, nothing in this presentation is to be taken as financial advice or investment advice. Wealth Warriors is not an investment platform, it's a community. We are a community. If you do decide to invest in any of the platforms discussed in this presentation, only use money you can comfortably afford to lose. Carry out your own due diligence. I do a lot of due diligence, and I feel flattered sometimes when people trust my due diligence, but I feel much more comfortable when you do your own. And I'm quite happy to give you all the indicators I've found that gave me confidence to adopt the platform. Okay, I'm happy to pass that information on for you to add it to what you do for your due diligence, but do your own due diligence. Don't just rely on me. Too much responsibility. And also have a strategy to recoup your initial investment as soon as possible and create a large income over time by withdrawing a percentage of the profits. And I don't give financial advice, but I do like it when people adopt the same strategy that I do, which is when you put your money in, you know exactly when you're going to take your money back out again. And after that, you're playing with free money. And then you build something so that you take, over a period of time, you take half out for your own use, so that's your profit, and reinvest half to allow that asset to grow. Okay, and you haven't got to do that, but to me, that just kind of makes sense. And that's what I have in my mind when I'm looking for these platforms. That's exactly what I have in mind. Can we do that? Can we have a passive side, and can we have a growth side, a kind of a network side as well? Okay, so what is the problem with online businesses? Well, one, I mentioned scams just now. There are just too many scams out there. It's true, there are more scam. I believe there are more scam websites out there in the online business industry than there are legitimate sites, probably by a factor of 3 or 4. So, it's kind of difficult to avoid them. You've at least got to check into them, even if you eventually end up not doing them. There are several now. I've seen several different versions of what I call the universal template. And somebody very clever invented these universal template where a scammer can buy it off them for, I don't know how much, probably a few $100s. And then they can, by filling in a few boxes and ticking a few boxes, adding a little bit of text here and there, they take that template and they turn it into something that has been customized to fit them. But underneath, you can see the underlying patterns of what they're doing are exactly the same. Every website that's created with this universal template. And I think this has been responsible for the advent of 200 or 300 websites in the last 8 months or so, maybe even longer than that. And now that I know what I'm looking for, I can spot them very quickly and easily. And then what some people refer to as these ROI scams. Okay, it's where you say, I'm going to put $100 in for 5 days, and I'm going to get 2% a day for 5 days. And you've got several different versions of that. So you can start with a small amount and you build it up, and then you buy a bigger plan, and then you build that up and you get a bit. And then of course, every time you're withdrawing, you're telling everybody this is wonderful, we're withdrawing, it's great money. But the problem with it is you can never ever get the site to show you what they're doing to make money. And of course, they're not doing anything to make money. What they're doing is they're paying out the old people with the new people's money. And the mathematics, it was quite an interesting exercise. I did a sort of a kind of a pseudo mathematical analysis of one of these sites. In fact, I've applied it to several sites now. But this initial one that I did, first of all, it turns out that about 99.9% of people have 99.9% of all of their money back in the hands of the scammers at any time. Whenever they decide to pull the plug, they're going to get 99.9% of the money from 99% of the 99.9% of the people. Because you take this withdrawal and you say, right, so now what I'm going to do, I've made great money on that, I'm going to get back in. So yes, you've withdrawn, but within a few minutes you've reinvested. Okay, so that's what they're trying to do. They're taking as much money off, or they do take almost all the money off of almost all the people. I guess that's why it's such a popular template to work from. Those businesses that aren't scams are just poorly run, and we've seen that before. You know, last year we got involved in some big businesses that they weren't scams; they were just poorly run, and so much so that they went bust. And we saw that with quite a lot of businesses last year. Those businesses that aren't scams and don't go bust get shut down by regulators. The very people who purport they get power and money from our governments collectively and individually to protect the investors. And so what they do is they come across a website that they don't like and they don't understand, even if it's not breaking any laws. Okay, they just don't like the fact that people are making money online without, and there's a possibility they're not declaring all their income, which isn't really their department anyway. So they shut the business down, seize all the funds, and then how much of that money do we ever get back? How many times have you been written to by regulators that shut down these sites and they say, yes, we've got your money, don't worry, it's nice and safe, we'll send it to you. No, they don't. They acquire that money that's has been confiscated by the Crown or confiscated by the government, okay, and we don't see that money. So I don't believe these government-run entities are there to protect investors at all. They're there to protect the money people, the money men, the financial elite in the world, to make sure that you and I don't ever amount to anything in terms of making any significant amount of money from online businesses. Okay, I honestly believe that, and you can call me a conspiracy theorist if you like, but that's what I believe. I've seen too much evidence to support that theory. And it doesn't matter how much money you make in online businesses, you cannot become truly free. You need to become really free. You need to be free, become free from government control, and then you can be financially free, time free, and live a life of abundance. Okay, and I'll show you. We have a program within Wealth Warriors to allow you to do that. So what can we do about it? Well, individually, nothing. We're just grist to the mill. I've known people who don't even commit crimes who get hauled into court. By the time they get hauled into court, they've written the laws, and so they get tried against those laws that weren't in place when they committed or allegedly committed those crimes. So that's the way the government likes to work. And unless you've got millions of dollars or millions of pounds, millions of euro, you're kind of powerless. Individually, we just get squashed like a bug. But collectively, we can do something about it. Collectively, we can help most of us avoid the pitfalls of the industry. Can we help everybody avoid the pitfalls? I don't think so. I think it's a bit like crossing a minefield. Somebody's got to go first. With a little bit of intelligence and a little bit of research, a little bit of proper techniques, we can prevent people getting blown up completely. But in reality, we'll probably find that some of us will lose some money sometimes. But we can help everybody avoid, or help everybody else, the rest of the community, avoid that. Okay, so you can follow somebody who's already crossed safely. we're safer together. And with safety, and this might not, you might not understand this straight away, but the thing that safety gives us is time. If we know that that website is going to be safe and it's doing what it says it's going to do, and is going to produce income for us maybe for the next 2 or 3 years, then we have the time to start small and build something quite large. Okay, so that's what we're looking for, the safety to have the time to start small and build something very, very significant. And also protect ourselves so that if and when any of the sites we're using today do fail, it doesn't break us. And we'll see that in a few minutes. So then what we do is we develop a plan or follow that plan. Okay, if we're all out there running around doing our own thing, we can be picked off very easily. But if we develop a plan or follow a plan together, then we can become truly free. So the benefits of following the rules of Wealth Warriors. Benefit 1, your growing income is protected from rug pulls. Okay, like I say, we can't have 100% protection, but we can protect most people from most of the impacts of a rug pull. Benefit 2, your team is loyal and committed to you, which is very, very important, because benefit 3 is to protect your permanent network of friends and family. Now, if they're loyal and they stick with you, then you can protect them. If they run off and do their own things, you can't protect them. And there's no benefit to them being part of Wealth Warriors if people are just going to go off and do their own things. Okay, we can only do what we can do within the confines of what we do. So I sound like a certain vice president now, don't I? For which I apologise. Benefit 4, build future business much faster with far more profit. And I'll show you that in just a few seconds. Benefit 5 is you put the effort in to build one business, and what you find is you've got 4 businesses growing and developing, but you're only putting time and effort into one business. And you've got 4 businesses growing. That's a great benefit. Benefit 6, you can reclaim lost money and recent expenditure. There is a way to assess how much money you've lost in the past, how much you paid out that you didn't need to pay out, and you can claim that back. I've got a claim in the system at the moment for about $168,000 for money that I lost during 2020. Where are we? 2022. Okay, some of you know the story, some of you don't. It doesn't matter if you don't, but just what I'm saying is I'm doing that. You can do that as well. You can reclaim back money that you spent in 2022. Benefit 7, become wealthy and live an abundant life. I love that expression, become wealthy and live an abundant life. Okay, and an abundant life means you have enough of everything. You have enough time, you have enough energy, you have enough peace of mind. If you want to buy yourself a yacht or a little island, or pay for the grandchildren's college fund, or whatever it is you want to do, you have enough. Okay, to do the things that you want to do. So let's have a look at how this works. I'm just going to finish my coffee quickly. Excellent. So an illustration, and to give an illustration, I've got to make some assumptions. So imagine Wealth Warriors deals with 4 platforms, which it actually does. At the time I wrote this, we were just recovering from losing a couple of platforms at the same time, and we only had 2, and now we're back up to 4. We're soon going to be up to 5 from the looks of things, but I'll keep you posted on that. Imagine then you have 10 people in all 4 platforms, and you're making $1,000 per month in each of the 4 platforms. Therefore, your total income is $4,000 per month. Let's have a look at what that looks like. So platform 1 is you at the top here. You've introduced Alan. Alan's introduced all the A's. You've introduced Belle. Belle's introduced all the B's. And you've introduced Chris, and Chris has introduced all the C's. So you've got 10 people in your business, 11 including yourself, and you're making $1,000 per month. Okay, just magically somehow, it doesn't matter what the business is doing, you're making that money. Everybody else is making some money as well. So let's move that out of the way so that we can bring in platform 2, because platform 2 you may notice is exactly the same size and shape with exactly the same people as platform 1. So we've taken exactly the same people that are in platform 1 and we've put them into the same positions within platform 2. And that's an important part of what Wealth Warriors is about. There's a number of reasons why it's far better to do that than to have everybody just run around trying to get into something, get into the latest thing before anybody else gets into it. They've got to be top of the tree, get above their, got to get above their introducer this time. Okay, that's a waste of time and money and effort and relationships and absolutely everything. If people just relax, you know exactly where you're going to go in the new platform because it's exactly the same place you were in the first platform. Okay, so in that position now, we've got 2 platforms and you're making $2,000 per month. So we go and find platform 3. And platform 3, as soon as we find platform 3, we slot everybody else into the same positions in exactly the same lines of sponsorship in platform 3, and you're making $3,000 per month. And now what happens is we introduce platform 4, and exactly the same thing happens again. So you're making $4,000 per month. There's no animosity between any of these people. They all know that where they are in the lines of sponsorship. And that's it. Now we've got 4 platforms on the go, and people are making good money, and that's it. We've run like that for a few weeks, a few months, maybe even a few years, possibly. But then something happens to platform 4. Maybe the regulators in America or in the UK or something decide they're going to shut this business down because they don't like it. Okay, so all of a sudden, platform 4 has gone. Your income has dropped to $3,000 per month. It hasn't gone to zero. You haven't lost everything. You still have an income of 3/4 of what you had just now. But better than that, the most important thing is your relationships with all of these people are exactly the same. They are intact. You haven't got people hating you because they lost some money. You haven't got to, you haven't got to avoid people. You don't feel guilty yourself thinking, oh, I've let people down. These people trusted me with their money. No, you still have all those relationships. And that's the most important thing about Wealth Warriors. You maintain these relationships. I call it your permanent network. You maintain your permanent network. Because what's going to happen at some point is we're going to carry out some investigations on some of these other businesses, and we're going to find a suitable platform 4. Okay, and as soon as we start platform 4, all of these people slot into platform 4 in the same places, exactly the same place. Well, you get the message by now. But your income, almost immediately, within a few days of us introducing platform 4, your income has jumped back up to $4,000 per month. Imagine we then go and find a platform 5. Your income almost immediately goes up to $5,000 per month. Okay, so you become protected from losses, and you become protected from losing friends, neighbors, relatives, and these relationships. They take time to, in fact, a lot of people don't bother building relationships in networking businesses anymore. When I started out in networking, it was all about the relationships. Now most people don't bother because as soon as that, if you've only got one platform, as soon as that platform's gone, those people are gone. They've got no reason to hang around, and you've got no reason to continue to support them. Okay, so this is the new way of doing it. This is the new philosophy, if you like. This is why we build the community, not the platform. The platforms will come and go. It's the relationships with the people that's important. So that's how the platforms work together. So let's have a look at the rules. And you need to follow the rules because you want the benefits. The rules are, 1, don't sign up in any other platform that comes along. If it's a good platform, Wealth Warriors will adopt it at some point. Okay, and you might say, well, I want to bring this business to you, but I want to be your upline. That's fine. We'll talk about that if that's what you really want to do. But I believe it's much better for me to investigate a platform, and then everybody just slots into place within their position within the permanent network. Okay, because so if you don't do that, then it becomes a little bit of a scrabble for who's going to bring in the network, who's going to bring in the platform first, who's going to be, I want to be upline to my upline from this last platform and so on. And it gets to be competitive, it gets to be messy, friendships get hurt, relationships get hurt, and that's the opposite of what we're trying to achieve. So I would say to people, don't sign up in any other platform that comes along. Imagine that we decide, you sign up in a platform now, and in a month's time, I look at that platform and I say, right, we're going to do this now. And you say, well, I'm already in. Okay, but you're not in it with Wealth Warriors. It's not, you can't have you can't suddenly move your permanent network part of it outside of Wealth Warriors, because we've all spent time building your business with you. So again, it gets messy. So rule one, don't sign up in other platforms that come along. If it's a good platform, we will adopt it at some point. Do sign up in all the platforms that we adopt. Some people say, well, I like this one, I don't like that one. That's fine, you can not like it all you like, but if you only sign up in one platform, it's pointless you being in Wealth Warriors, because it gives you no protection. The protection is having all of the platforms that we're all in. And you can't maintain your lines of sponsorship if you're in some things and not in other things. And and the people that are working with your people deserve better than that. You can destroy your own line of sponsorship quite easily by deciding not to get into something, and all of a sudden the people below you in other platforms are getting into the new platform without you, and that's messy. You don't want that either. It's all about doing what's best. Sometimes you feel sometimes you do need to sacrifice your immediate needs to have the long-term benefits of what Wealth Warriors can offer. And you see, this is why I say most people don't understand this. Maybe it's not that they don't understand it, maybe it's they don't like it. That's fine as well. But and this is why big leaders don't like it, because part of the trick they perpetrate on people is they help you build a group. Okay, they make relationships with people in your group, and then when there's a new platform come along, they blast out an email or a Telegram message to everybody in your group to come and sign up with them. And all of a sudden, all of your people that you brought into their business with faith and hope, all of a sudden they've been taken and placed into other lines of sponsorship. And you think, well, what's going on? And we don't want that. We don't do that. So it might be sounding like a broken record, but that's why these big leaders can't understand how to build a community. Every action they take is against building the community. Do maintain lines of sponsorship across all platforms. Help your people to understand this and help your people to do it. It's a very, very simple process. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And do get your personally introduced people to do the same. Do support your own people by learning about all of the platforms we adopt. So at the moment we have 4 different platforms. So I suggest you learn about all 4. You haven't got to be an expert. We do have, within the group, we have different people. They prefer this platform or that platform. So it's good, but you should have a working knowledge of the other ones as well. The ones you're not that, you're not that keen on. Just have a working knowledge, at least find out, know where the Telegram groups are, where the Facebook groups are, when the Zoom calls are. Very, very simple stuff. Okay, so that's the rules. And why worry about the rules? Well, one, you want the benefits. Okay, you can't have the benefits without having the rules, without following the rules. Okay, it doesn't work that way. You can't get heat out of a log before you actually set fire to it. You've got to do things in the right order. If you want the benefits, then you have to follow the rules first. The rules are to ensure you get your security of income and build a permanent network and become wealthy and live an abundant life. That's what they're for. And if you want to take shortcuts on that, just for some quick gain today with this platform, make an extra, I'll be somebody's upline, I'll make an extra $100 a month. It's very short-sighted. It's very, very narrow thinking. It's not future thinking. The way to think for the future is to do things now that maybe you're not that comfortable with, maybe you don't even agree with it, but you know that further down the line it's going to be of great benefit, not only to you, but to the people that you know and love and bring into businesses with you. Unfortunately, some of you are going to miss out on all the drama associated with the scam or failed business or rug pull. A lot of people have been surprised that I didn't have any thoughts at all on Hyper. I didn't have any thoughts at all on the Cash FX. There's quite a few businesses that have failed over the last 2 years or so. I didn't even get involved with them because as soon as I looked at them, I realized what they were. Okay, and when I see a business that I don't trust, then I don't promote it at all. So I just don't get involved in the drama. I don't need the drama. I don't get involved in the drama. But I know a lot of people do thrive on that. They love to run around telling everybody that they were scammed and they lost all their money and this sort of thing. So unfortunately, you're going to have to miss out on all that. If you follow the rules of Wealth Warriors, there won't be that much drama, unfortunately. Being community centric means you put the community first, not yourself. You can't do both. And leaders, I know you hear that leaders are servants, but within the confines of Wealth Warriors, you absolutely must be a servant leader, because you spend your time and energy helping other people succeed to do what they need to do. Okay, so you can't do that and also put yourself first. I don't want to give any examples, but I'm sure you understand the principle. Remember, platforms come and go, but the community survives. And that's the most important message, I think, of Wealth Warriors, is if you do this right, it doesn't matter what happens to the platforms, we will be there. We'll be moving up the ladder slowly, making more money every month, every year, okay, until we achieve our goals of personal freedom or personal wealth, generational wealth, abundant lifestyle, whatever it is we're aiming for. Yeah, there'll be some forward progress, a little bit of backward progress once in a while, and then some more forward progress. So slowly we will get there. But if all we're doing is the same as we've done for the last 5 years in this industry, then every time there's a rug pull, we start back at the bottom. Zero money, zero income, zero investment capital, and zero friends to go and share it with. Okay, and personally, I'm fed up with that, and I suspect you are, which is why you're on the call tonight, or you're watching this video. You can be a part of Wealth Warriors if you follow the rules, and if you don't follow the rules, nobody's going to tell you you're not a Wealth Warrior, but you'll know. You'll know, because things will just happen, and you'll think, well, why isn't anybody else talking about that? Or something will happen, and you'll say, oh, I've lost this, or that's happened, or whatever, and you'll notice that all the other Wealth Warriors just continue to march forward. Okay, so you haven't got to follow the rules, but if you don't, it's going to be very, very difficult to have the benefits. So our criteria for adopting a platform is it must be available everywhere to everyone. The reason is we can't maintain lines of sponsorship if we can't put anybody in the world into that platform. It must have a unilevel compensation plan. Again, different compensation plans that are not unilevel destroy lines of sponsorship. 1 minute you're in somebody's left leg underneath this person, the next minute you're in somebody's right leg underneath that person, and it's just a mess for what we're trying to do. People must be able to join for free or get involved in a passive income program for a very low entry cost. I understand Wealth Warriors have a lot of people who just want to get involved for a passive income program. Part of the reason for that is that they've been burned in the past with introducing their friends, neighbours and relatives to something that goes wrong or isn't as good as they thought it was. Imagine if you can get somebody involved in you in a passive program, or 4 passive programs in 4 different platforms. It's not going to be very long before that person actually introduces somebody. Just by talking to somebody, they'll say, they'll let slip that they're doing something, and that person will say, oh, well, can you show me what that is? And all of a sudden they're in one platform, and then they'll come along to a meeting like this, or a Zoom call like this, or they'll watch a video, and they'll say, oh, I could be in all 4 programs, couldn't I? And all of a sudden they're in all 4 programs. All of a sudden that person has the start of a permanent network. Okay, so it's and it can start from just being in a passive program that works. So the combination of 1, 2, and 3 means that we can maintain the lines of sponsorship. That's the only way we can do it. If we break rule 1, 2, or 3, or criteria 1, 2, or 3, then we won't be able to maintain lines of sponsorship across all platforms. Number 4, it must be based on real world applications, not just a money game or a shell game, or, you know, you give me this much money and I'll give you back even more. You know, we've got to be able to see the trading, see the robots that are building buildings, see the, you know, whatever else we'll do, see the Bitcoin mining, whatever it is, we've got to be able to see it. We must be able to verify the company's legal status and its involvement in the real world activities. Now, that's not the be all and end all of a company. I know plenty of companies that have perfectly good legal status, and you know, and they either scams or they weren't very well put together or whatever. But as a minimum, we've got to be able to verify the company's status, because a lot of these businesses that we've traditionally gotten involved with is basically it's just a guy with some coding skills, $15 million on a Trezor device in his back pocket, and access to a couple of other coders. So it's a guy with a good idea, puts together a website, and thinks he's got a business. He hasn't. He absolutely hasn't. He's got a job, and if he's off running a seminar in Kuala Lumpur or Hong Kong or somewhere, then he's not looking after his business, and there's nobody else who can do it. If he gets hit by a bus, that business is gone. Okay, so it's not the same as having a proper business, a proper company, a proper infrastructure in place to look after the business. We want to be able to meet the CEO or business owner. The compensation plan must be viable and sustainable. The number of times I've just run a calculator over a compensation plan and realized that they can't possibly pay out that much money. They just make these numbers up because they want to get us to put the money in, but it's just not sustainable. And the membership must all be able to get behind the project, so we avoid gambling, money lending, things like that. Okay. So the adopted platforms, the first one we have is called Fractional 3D. I'm going to talk about this very briefly. I've got one slide about Fractional 3D. And for those of you who weren't aware, what we did is originally, in place of Fractional 3D, we promoted the sister company, which was Property Robots. And we've stopped doing that now. There's a number of reasons why, and I think the company is actually called Camhurst Robots, and or Camhurst CP Limited, and they set up this program for Property Robots where we would invest, or we give them some money to fund the assembly and shipping of robots that build properties. But it wasn't a very good fit because they didn't really need our money, and they still don't need our money, because when they sell these robots, they take half the money up front with the order, so they don't really need our money to fulfill those orders. And so what's happening with them now is they're actually paying money out. There's a drain on there. Instead of using our money to benefit them, they've made a commitment to pay our money, but it's actually a drain on their resources. So maybe it wasn't very well thought out, but they do have a sister company called Fractional 3D. And Fractional 3D is about, we provide the liquidity so that they can put these robots together at our expense. We're paying for that. They'll put them together and test them and package them up and send them out to people who are renting them. And people rent these property building robots at $5,000 a day. Okay, so it's not very long before the company actually recovers our money to give us back, you know, our share of the profits, and also make some good profits for themselves. But that's a good use of our money, because otherwise they wouldn't have the liquidity to set these lease robots up. They just wouldn't have the money for it. So that's a much better system, if you like, for this business model. And so what I would suggest is those of you that still have money in Property Robots, get it out as the different plans mature and so on and so forth. And when you've stop with finish up a plan in Property Robots for say $100, come back to Fractional 3D and buy $100 plan with those profits. Okay, so over a period of time, over the next 5 or 6 months, maybe get all of your money out of Property Robots and into Fractional 3D, and any additional money that you want to invest in this industry, then put it into Fractional 3D, not Property Robots. New people you bring in, don't even bother telling them about Property Robots, just go straight for Fractional 3D. So with Fractional 3D, you can invest in plans of different sizes between $100 and $100,000. And all plans double in 6 months. So you buy a plan, okay, that's your money gone. So you pay $100, for example, your money's gone, you now have a plan, you bought a plan. Okay, and people say, well, what about my money? No, your money's gone, you bought a plan, you've now got a plan. That plan will pay you out money every single day. It's roughly 0.55% per day, because every plan, it doesn't matter the size of it, they all double in 6 months. So at the end of the 6 months, you will have had back $200 for that $100 plan. Okay, and what you can do then is you can put that $200 in, and at the end of another 6 months, you've got $400. And I'll show you a spreadsheet in a minute what would happen if you do that, starting with $1,000. I did have a much better spreadsheet prepared for you, but something weird and wonderful happened to it, and I don't know what it was. So the long and the short of it is that you 4x your money every year. No ifs, buts, or maybes, you just 4x your money. So once you've got your initial $100 back out, so that you're then playing with free money, you can go crazy and build a very large asset. And in fact, what you can do is work out a plan where you put some money back in to reinvest, and you take some of the profit out. And we can build a spreadsheet around that. And over a 5-year period, you end up with a very large amount of money in your nest egg, providing a very nice income for you. So it's not get rich quick, but it is something that's going to be around for the next 25, 30 years, because it's solving a real world problem, which is the worldwide housing shortage. In fact, it's not just housing, it's all buildings. A friend of mine wants to build a number of farms in Africa, and he's arranged them in a radial pattern. So there's 11 farms, and he's building in the middle a complete town from scratch. So it's something like 20,000 homes, and then it's all the schools and the offices and the shops and the banks and the fire stations and the police stations and the radio stations, the restaurants, and just on and on. And he's going to be buying some of these robots to make that happen. Okay, so that's just a small piece of Africa. Imagine that multiplied out over the whole world. We need all these extra houses and all this other extra infrastructure, and this is the way it's going to be done in the future. And the reason is, if you lease a robot to build you a schoolroom, you know it's going to cost you $10,000 per schoolroom. Okay, you need that robot for 2 days to build those classrooms, and that's it. You don't have any waste. You don't have to ship lots of concrete bricks all over the place. You don't need skilled labor that may or may not turn up and have accidents and all these sorts of things. You know it's going to cost you $5,000 per day to build whatever you want to build. And that's a great weight or there's a great pressure off of the construction industry, because they have so many variable costs. If they can get all of these costs down, they don't buy their own bulldozers and cranes and this sort of thing, because it's much easier if something goes wrong, or when they finish with it, they just give it back. They only need the bulldozer for a certain number of days, and then they give it back. Okay, and that's what they can do with these machines. They don't need to keep bricklayers on and try to get them to do some other work. Anyway, I'm rambling. So this is meant to be the fastest part of the presentation. So you 4x your money every year. Profit is returned straight to your Trust wallet or your MetaMask wallet instantly. Okay, so you don't need to withdraw, or when you do withdraw, it's very, very quick. It goes straight into your wallet. Your wallet is attached to your Fractional 3D account, so you don't need anyone's permission. You push the withdraw button and it goes straight into your wallet. You can compound your passive earnings by buying more plans with your profits. I gave you an example of that just now. And you can earn direct bonuses, indirect bonuses, and matching bonuses up to 35% based on the volume that your team brings into the company, deposited directly into your wallet. Okay, so you have your own passive earning where you can 4x your money every year. And if you want to build a team, you haven't got to, but if you do, then there are plenty of other bonuses to go around. Some of them very, very large. Okay, I mean, we're talking hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars of bonuses available over a period of time. So the next one is, so that's Fractional 3D done. Trade Like Crazy, TLC is the next platform. The company is basically trading in cryptocurrency. They have a team of 20 traders and all results are verifiable. So we know they're actually doing the trading because we can go to any of the traders and we can check their history and we can see it all verified. Every single trade is verified through Bybit. The average monthly earnings over the last 12 months has been 15 to 30%. My experience is very close to about 21% per month. You can buy packages. Again, it's in packages. You buy $20 up to $100,000. So it's 20, 50, 100, 250, 500, and so on. Okay, and once you bought the package, that's it. Your money's gone, but you keep that package now, and it produces income for you until you've made 3 times the amount of money. So if you buy a $20 package, that package is used up when you've made $60. If you buy a $1,000 package, that package is used up when you've made $3,000. There is a system where you can change that into 4 times, and if you qualify for that, it's fairly easy to do. If you qualify for that, then the same rules apply, except you make more money from each package. You can withdraw your profit every single day, or you can reinvest some or all profit. And today I went to my Trade Like Crazy account and I bought another $100 package with my profits, and I withdrew $100. So that's a little bit of strategy there about how to do it, because the only real money you have with any of these businesses, the only real money you have is what you take out and put in your own pocket. Okay, all these other numbers on the screen, they're great for comfort, and you rely on them in the future for your income, but the only real money that you have is what goes into your own wallet. So you can buy more packages with profits to compound your passive income, which is what I just said. There is a compensation plan for introducing others that runs down 15 levels. I'm not going to go into the details of this. This company does Zoom calls every single day, so you can get to find out about the plan. I don't believe we need to know the absolute details of these different levels, 15 different levels. It's really just a case of, if you're going to introduce people, introduce a bunch of people, and the commissions will come. That's it, the commissions will come. You also get matching bonuses from the first 5 levels down from you. And there's also what I call shiny objects incentives. So you can, if you do certain things, then you can get a new iPhone, a new MacBook. You can get there's 2 different types of watches. There's a car, an Audi RS. I can't remember which Audi RS it is now, or a Lamborghini. And if you don't want those particular things, you can ask for the cash equivalent. The Lamborghini is 350,000 cash equivalent. The iPhone, I think, is $1,000 cash equivalent. One of the watches is $60,000. So you can ask for the cash if you've got a perfectly serviceable watch. I don't really like these shiny object incentives, but it's there. There's no harm done. Might as well take it if they're going to give it to me. So the third one then is called Matrix Freedom. And the company has created a roadmap to freedom. So as soon as you sign up, you watch a very quick video about, 3.5-minute video about Matrix Freedom. And then if you're in for it, you sign up free as a member. And if you introduce others, then you also need to sign up as an affiliate and or a network originator. It's up to you. You can say, well, I'm not going to introduce anybody yet, but in 2 years' time, when you do start introducing people to these programs, then you sign up as an affiliate then. Initially, you pay out of your own pocket for recouping your check account or your current account for 2022. I said earlier, I'm claiming back some money from 2022, and this is what I was talking about. So it cost me £3,000 because I've got a business account and a personal account, and I'm claiming back about $168,000. Okay, so then what we do is we use that money to reclaim subsequent years of bank accounts and loans and mortgages. When I reclaim back my mortgages, it's somewhere in the region of $600,000. Again, it's going to cost me about $6,000 to do that. So, but first of all, we get the money out here, cheapest way we can get the money out, and then use that money to pay for these other things every year on an ongoing basis. And eventually we get to the point where we can, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but basically we can create as much currency within that system as we like. Okay, so if you want a yacht and it's going to cost you $500,000, then you just create $500,000 to get your yacht. Okay, it sounds strange, but when you go to the site and listen to the videos and start getting involved with it, you will see how easy this system is, and it makes you wonder why everybody lives in well, whatever the opposite of a life of abundance is, a life of desperation, if you like. And that's not a judgment, because I've been living a life of desperation for many years. And you can create new currency as needed to live a life of abundance. So that's the Matrix Freedom. The last one is BitHarvest, and BitHarvest is an incredible system where we work with the Bitcoin miners. Now, Bitcoin miners around the world are responsible for upholding the Bitcoin network. When we make a Bitcoin transaction, they charge us some fees, and part of that fee is that, or part of what they do is to create new Bitcoin. It's called mining or minting in some cases. Okay, so they actually generate from nothing, or from a work effort, if you like, Bitcoin, but they also charge you some money for the transaction. And these are the people who volunteer to keep the blockchain, all the different data in all of the blockchains worldwide up to date. So they want to be paid for that, and we pay them that when we make a transaction. The small part of that transaction is the fees that we pay them. So there's been a problem with that system for a little while, and that is that the transactions are slowing down because there's so many more of them, and also the value that they're charging, or the value of the Bitcoin that they can mine per transaction, has been decreasing. There's something called halving, and every so often the work being paid in Bitcoin for all this transactions processing is being reduced, and so the Bitcoin miners have been kind of struggling to know what to do. It's been their workload is going up, their electricity costs are going up, and their profit is going down. Well, what we've done is introduced a device called a BitBooster, and we hook up that BitBooster via the magic of the internet to these mining farms, and we increase their productivity by up to 400%. So we increase the productivity by between 100% and 300%. Okay, so it's either 2 times or 4 times the output for them. So they make a lot more money, and what we ask is that they give us some of that extra money. They keep most of it, and they give us some, and we share it out among ourselves. So the potential is that we can buy these devices, make them available to the Bitcoin miners, and earn money off of all of that extra Bitcoin that's being generated. So this is one of the things I like to say, is that we can, this is a one-off payment, and we earn forever. So you can buy a Bitcoin, a whole booster, it will cost you $1,000. You buy that once, and you earn Bitcoin every single day forever for the rest of your life. Okay, they enhance the miners' profits, and they work with any mining farm in the world. You can also buy a part of a BitBooster. You haven't got to buy a whole $1,000. You can buy them in 10% shares, so 200, 400, sorry, 100, 200, 300, 400, whatever percentage, whatever percentage of $1,000, and you get paid a proportionate amount for that. Each BitBooster returns between $5 and $10 every day in Bitcoin as a passive income, and you can also earn commissions on sales of bit boosters yourself, people that you sell them to, and as you develop a team, you get a share of the commission on the bit boosters that they sell. And as their bit boosters are making Bitcoin for themselves, a little bit of that comes to you as commission, not only in Bitcoin, but in USDT. So basically you buy one device and you get paid in Bitcoin every day. You build a team and they put bit boosters into their team and you get paid Bitcoin and USDT every single day. You buy more bit boosters or shares to manually compound earnings. That's it. So there's no compounding system. You just buy more bit boosters. So you see there's a pattern to all of these things where you can get involved as a passive in a passive role, or you can build a team and generate more income from the team. And then the strategy of recover your money, then start building with the free money, take half of your profits out, reinvest half of your profits. If you apply that across all of these platforms, it won't be very long before you have a nice nest egg, if you like, producing income for you every day, every week, every month. So this isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. This might take you 3, 4, 5 years to build up to hundreds of thousands of dollars a month of earnings, but you will get there. It will happen. So there's the 4 different platforms: Fractional 3D, Trade Like Crazy, Matrix Freedom, and BitHarvest. So we run a Telegram group. I apologize, we've kind of run out of time. So I'm going to talk fast and skip over some things. So make sure you get added to the Telegram group so you can keep up to date. We hold the Zoom call every Saturday at 10 o'clock, and attend yourself, bring new people, make sure you people attend. It's a shortcut to fast growth. Attend the Zoom calls of the platforms. Their schedules published in the various Telegram groups within the Wealth Warriors Telegram group. Take your people with you. And for Freedom Matrix, work your way through, Matrix Freedom. Work your way through the webinars and books at your own pace, but get the first roadmap completed as soon as possible. As soon as you get that first bank recoupment in place and you get back your thousands of dollars from 2022, that will then give you some money. One, you can take out and just do what you like, but also that will allow you then to fund the next few steps, which will be very exciting for you. Get the referral. So what to do now? Get the referral links for all the platforms from the person who invited you to this presentation or sent you this video. Register in all the opportunities. I know I've drone on about it, but register in all the opportunities and make a note of all your referral links, and then pass those links on to your existing frontline members or to people that you invite to see this presentation. And then make a minimum payment into all opportunities, or do the best you can. This isn't the sort of business where we're saying we'll just put everything in that you can possibly put in. In fact, we're saying the opposite. Don't put in money that you can't afford to lose. Okay, if all you can do is afford to make minimum payment into two opportunities, do that. Do the third one in a few months' time when you've made some profit, or you've had a bonus from work or whatever it is. Okay, so do the best you can with what you can. Ask your introducer to be added to the Wealth Warriors Telegram group. So everybody that's in the Wealth Warriors Telegram group has the ability to add somebody else. But please avoid adding scammers, because if we catch scammers, then we can also see who introduced them. Okay, so just be careful of that. Attend a Zoom call or watch a video for each platform you've added funds to your account. So although I say don't be an expert, you don't need to be an expert in all of these platforms. You do need to know a little. As new platforms are added, make sure to get the referral link of your upline and join as quickly as possible. Pass your referral link to your existing team and get on a presentation for that new platform as soon as possible. Okay, the plan should be that within an hour or so of you receiving the referral link from your upline, you've joined and passed your referral link on to your existing team. If you're 50 down, if you have leg 50 deep, you don't want it to take 7 weeks to get to the bottom of that group. You want people to be in and earning and excited within a day or two. Okay, so it just needs a little bit of encouragement, a little bit of application, and you can do that. So you grow your Wealth Warriors community by bringing more people to the Wealth Warriors Zoom calls or by sharing this video from YouTube. You can get a Wealth Warriors landing page by signing up for a free account with System.io, and then you can import MyFunnel and email campaign from that address. When you've done that, open up the referral links. So open up the emails and change my referral links for your referral links. Okay. I've got too many people. I don't need your people as well. I want you to have your people. If you're interested, there is a Trade Like Crazy landing page and emails. It's nothing to do with me. If you feel that you want to use that to grow your Trade Like Crazy business, you can. It'll cost you $19.95 a month, and there's a video there for you to have a look and see if it's something you're interested in. Quick reminder, we're building a solid foundation on which we can base our financial futures. It's not a mad dash to the finish, it's a good solid foundation. We only want to work with companies that are in it for the long term. It just makes our lives so much easier. We only want to work with companies that are above board. That goes without saying, I think. We want to build a large asset, which in turn will deliver us a large income, whatever that asset is. Only platforms that meet our criteria are even considered. You wouldn't believe how many messages I get every day from people who don't like the fact I'm saying that their beloved platform is not suitable for us. And I stop short of calling them a scam unless they push me, in which case I'll provide them all the evidence they need to see that it's a scam. But of course, there's none so blind who do not want to see. So most people just, shout and swear at me and tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. But the bottom line is we don't get involved in their scammy companies. We want to, now, I keep meaning put this up as a banner. This bottom point, it shouldn't really be at the bottom of the page. It should be like the major reason, if you like. It should be the mission document, or the mission statement, the policy. We want to apply our rules to this industry to achieve our outcomes. We don't want to be at the mercy of any platform or any company. Okay, so the whole reason we're doing this is to say these are our rules, so to achieve our own outcomes, and we're using the platforms to do it. The platforms come and go, the community will persist. Finally, it's important to remain safe on the internet and in the world of online opportunities at all times. Do not share your password or other credentials with anyone. That's for any of the platforms. Where it's available, set up your 2FA on your accounts. And if you don't know what this is or how to do it, just Google 2FA. Mr. Google knows all these things. Back up your passwords and your 2FA codes in a secure location. And here's an important point as well. Make sure the executors of your will or your beneficiaries have access to this information in the event of your death. Nobody wants to talk about death, but unfortunately, death is part of life. It happens to people. And so what you wouldn't want to do is to spend time building up a small fortune in Bitcoin, only to find out in 5 years' time when something happens to you, none of your relatives even know that you've got millions of dollars put aside in Bitcoin, let alone where it is or how to access it. So make sure this information is available to your beneficiaries. Okay, have we finished? Yes, we have. So welcome to Wealth Warriors. We are financial freedom fighters for the world. I'm going to quickly share a couple of spreadsheets. I know it's 6 minutes past the hour. I'm going to share them anyway. I'm that sort of guy. So this is fractional 3D. Now let's look at the BitHarvest one first. Okay, so this is a spreadsheet that we put together for BitHarvest. So maximize that. Okay, we can see all of it. So what this is about is saying that we're going to make, from each bit booster per month, we're going to make this much Bitcoin. Okay, and then these are the different levels within BitHarvest and the different qualifications to achieve different levels of income. But let's imagine initially it's just you. We think the Bitcoin price on the 19th of May, as of today, is let's say 70,000. It's not, it's about 63. But let's suppose you buy one booster for yourself and nothing. No, you are just doing this passively, Okay, you're a customer, you're not making any sales commission. Every month you're making about $128 in Bitcoin. It's going straight into your Bitcoin wallet. And if you do nothing with that, just save it up until the 31st of December 2029. Let's suppose I read a report today saying that the price of Bitcoin by 2030 is going to be $1,000. Sorry, $1 million. Okay, so you get that much Bitcoin every month. You save it up. You've got that much Bitcoin. You've got $125,000 worth of Bitcoin by the end of this decade, and it's cost you $900. In fact, it's actually cost you $1,000. Maybe I should change that. Okay, so that's you buy one whole Bitcoin BitBooster, it costs you $1,000, and by the end of the decade, you've got $125,000. Now, imagine you're a little bit more ambitious than that. You want to buy 5. You've got $5,000 to spend. $5,000 will get you $625,000 by the 31st of December 2029. That's only if Bitcoin goes to £1 million per Bitcoin, which is, I think, is very conservative. I've seen some reports to 1.5, 1.8. I saw one the other day that was 2.5. Okay, so 1 million is, I think, is very, very reasonable. Most people think Bitcoin is going to be around 200,000 by the end of next year. Okay, so we could do the figures for that if you wanted to, but I'm just showing you this. So this is absolutely passive. You've not introduced anybody else. So you decided over a period of time to buy 10 BitBoosters. It might take you a year to do that. Okay, and then you've got 1.25 million in 5 years' time. What's that? 5. That's 5.5 years' time. Okay, so that's the passive side. If you want to introduce some other people, then let's look at this chart over here. To become a 1-star, which is just a rank, you need personal purchases of 1, personal sales of 3, team sales of 7. So let's do 3 and 7. Now you actually make some profit. You make about $585 because these people have bought BitBoosters. You get some of that in sales commission. So, you know, that's not a massive amount of work to sell 10 BitBoosters, and you've made nearly $600. But now all of those other BitBoosters add into your profit, and you get some in cash, in USDT, and you get some in Bitcoin. And if you save up all of that Bitcoin by the 31st of December 2029, then you've got nearly $200,000. So you've only bought 1 for yourself, and you've helped other people buy 10 between them. And that could be one person buying 3, that could be one person buying 7. Job done. And lots of people are buying 5, 10, 15, 20 of these at a time. A guy last week bought 100 of these just for his own use. So all of this is totally achievable. And so you've spent $1,000 yourself. You've got back $600, so it's only cost you $400, and you've got $200,000 of an asset in 5.5 years' time. So let's suppose we go to the next level, which is 3, 10, 70. Okay, same sort of thing. Now it's cost you $3,000 to get in, and you've helped some other people. You know, you're going to have done all these sales yourself. You've helped some other people make some money as well. It's cost you $3,000 to get in. You've got back $2,700, and so it's really only cost you $300. But with all of the Bitcoin you've got stored up at the end of 5.5 years, it's worth over $1 million. And this is absolutely no business at all. 3 BitBoosters yourself and 10 and 70 is, you know, you could do that in, even if it takes you 3 or 4 months, it's still nothing at all to get done. You know, they have room for millions and millions of these BitBoosters. So I'm not going to go into that in any more depth and show you what would happen if you went all the way up to 6-star. But this is just an example of how you can start small over a period of time, because we've got enough time to do it, it's going to turn into something big. And it's worthwhile doing this. So let's have a look at the next spreadsheet. Which is, this is the one for Trade Like Crazy. And what I've said with these spreadsheets is that with Trade Like Crazy, a couple of things. One is we're getting about 4.5% profit per week. Okay, so not massive compared to some of these ROI scams, but with my bank right now, it would take them about 12 years to give me 4.5% profit. Okay, and we're saying we get 4.5% per week. And that's actually happening. I can show you my back office. That's a real figure that's kind of happening. 4.5%, 21%, 22% a month. So let's suppose you start with $1,000, and the strategy here is you make a deposit and let it run for 2 years. And every time a plan matures, you buy more plans with all of your profits. So you don't do anything in between. You just buy $1,000 package, and when you've got $3,000 from that package, then you buy back in at $3,000 level, and then you keep hold of that until you've got now $9,000, and you buy back in at $9,000. Okay, so you don't actually do anything in between. You just let it run for 2 years, but every time a plan matures, buy more plans with your profit. So what that means is, in the first year, you're going to make 983% ROI. So your $1,000 will be worth $9,000, and by the end of the second year, your $1,000 will be worth $96,000. Okay, so that's, again, it's not get rich quick, but it is not a bad return. I don't know many people who have a savings plan where they could put $1,000 in now, and in 2 years' time they have nearly $100,000. There aren't that many plans around that could do that. So that's strategy 1 for Trade Like Crazy. Strategy 2 is every time you accrue enough money, you purchase as many new plans as you can get for your money. So here on day 1, we put in $1,000, we get 4.5% profit, so we make $45. Well, the lowest we can buy back in is $20. So on week 2, then we now add an extra $40. That's 2 extra $20 packages. So now we've got we make $53, so that in week 3 we can add a $50 package. So now we make another $50 and so on. So you get the idea. And if we continue to do that, just buying in the packages as soon as we possibly can, what that means is that your ROI in year 1 is 1,168%, which is even better than Nancy Pelosi, believe it or not. Oh, sorry, did I say that out loud? So your $1,000 is worth $11,000. And if you continue to do that, so you probably won't continue to do that. I'm not saying you should, I'm just showing you the maths. What you probably start doing is at a certain point, you start taking some money out and reinvesting some of it. So you make $1,000, you keep 500 and you add 500 back in, something like that. And it's up to you to decide when that will be. But let's suppose you didn't do that. You've got great faith in this company. It's going to be around forever. I'm not saying that, I'm saying that's what you believe. Okay, so at the end of year 2, you've your $1,000 worth $127,000. So you can see both strategies are good. One's better than the other. And this is what I do, is I just run this little tracker here. So this is telling me that I have, in my own personal portfolio, I have 2 $20 packages, 4 $50 packages. Now I only ever buy $100 packages. Okay, so every time I get $100, I buy another $100 package. I've got 2 $250 packages because that's what I started with. So now my portfolio is worth $1,940. I make $13 a day, which means that every 7.36 days, I can buy another $100 package. So you can see it's not going to be long before I'm going to be adding more and more $100 packages. And this figure, these daily incomes will be going up to, it'll be enough every single day to buy a new package every single day. So that's one of the spreadsheets. And I'm just wondering if I should do the last one, the fractional 3D one. Why not? This is the one that got broke earlier. And what I've done is I've put down dates for every, maybe I haven't January. No, I did it wrong. I should have 1st of July, shouldn't it? What do I went wrong? Okay, it won't take me a second to fix this. It's only the dates that have gone wrong. Okay, so on the 1st of January this year, suppose I put $1,000 into fractional 3D, and I'm going to double, so I'm going to make another $1,000. So that at the end of June, I've got $2,000. So take that $2,000 and put it back in. By the end of December, now I've made another $2,000, so I've got $4,000. I put my 4 in and I end up with 8. Put my 8 in and end up with 16, and so on. What that means is that within a few, if I keep doing that, and again I won't, I will start. I'll get to a point where I start taking money out. If I was making, for example, $32,000 every 6 months, I wouldn't reinvest all $32,000. I'd keep 16 and put 16 back in. I might keep 20 and put 12 back in. Okay. Or I might just take $32,000 every 6 months and be stuck at $32,000 profit. I might do that. But if you continue to reinvest your money, you can see it gets up to silly numbers very, very quickly. And like I say, nobody's going to do that, because what this means is if something happens, say we're going to say, well, on the 1st of January, I'm going to withdraw all my money, all $8 million. Okay. And on the 31st of December, something happens to this company through no fault of anybody's, then I've lost all of that. The only money that's real money is money I've actually taken out and put in my wallet. So nobody's actually going to do these strategies. I'm just showing you that there is money there if that's what somebody does. And I could work out another spreadsheet where you take 50% out, and I think I'll do that for next time. I'll have some different percentages that you can withdraw, and we'll have a look at some more realistic figures for these compounding strategies. So let's stop sharing, get back to the room. I'm going to ask everyone to unmute. That's called unmute. So feel free to come and unmute yourselves. I'm going to switch the recording off unless anybody's got any particular things they want to have recorded. Go on, Greg. No, I'll switch the recording off, and I'll go into a question and answer session, because the video is quite long enough, I think.
I want to see you win. I want to see you absolutely smash every single dream you have. I want to see you overcome all of the barriers you face, and I want to see you succeed. I'm your biggest fan, your top supporter, and I'll be with you every single step of the way. You're destined for greatness, with or without me, and I want to see you achieve. Your potential is limitless, and your determination is inspiring. Keep striving for your goals, and I'll continue to cheer you on.